back in the garage, we have our little piece of cardboard. It was already in this shape and I think it'll be perfect. I need a 14 by 14 inch cutout. That looks right. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab my little air fan, place it on top and trace out the template. Let's go over some things. We have the bottom of our fan. It's going to go on your ceiling and then you cut to whatever, length your ceiling is. And then you're going to use this piece as your template. So I already had a nice little box that was pretty cut to size, honestly. This is gonna be perfect. And we're gonna go ahead and get the Sharpie, draw that out. I just wanted to go over the fan very quickly. I got it on eBay for 90 bucks. It is an RV fan. It's not a max air fan, but it does have a rain hood cover and 3 speeds, I believe. Something like that. But it also pulls air in and out, 14 by 14, and it's manually adjusted here. But it's a 12-volt fan and that's all I wanted. So there we have it. I'll put the link in the description if they still have them on sale. They were selling pretty quickly. I had to buy it fast and they also had a sale when I bought it. So it might not be the same price, but hey, it's a cheaper alternative than the Max Air fan, which is like $200 plus. So yeah, here's another alternative, guys. In this build, I'm learning that there are some things you can cheap out on and there's some things that you cannot. We're gonna see if the fan is one of those things that I cannot. It looks okay and it had really good reviews and we'll see how that goes. The skylight, I did pay top dollar for that. I believe it was like $76, $75 at Home Depot. That I wanted to be 100%. So I just went ahead and spent the extra money on a high quality plexiglass. As for the air fan, I feel like maybe I will be using it a lot, but I feel it won't be that much of a difference between a $90 one and a $200 one. We'll see. Also, my floors, I did cheap out on the floors and I don't think that was a good idea either because I'm going to be walking on them constantly and it didn't come out as well as I thought it would. So I might be buying extra floor to go on top of that floor because I've already cut it out and it's already to shape and everything. So, but like I said, this is a learning experience. I'm figuring it out as I go and I'm learning what I don't want to cheap out on and what I do want to make sure we're investing in because this is an investment. If you want to have good quality, long-lasting things, then pay good money for it. It doesn't have to be expensive to be high quality. Remember that. Just because something is like $800 doesn't mean it's the best on the market. So also be aware of the pricing, the reviews, how you feel about it. That all comes into play. So yeah, just keep your eye out and let's get to this fan. Gonna get my template here. I think I'm gonna trace, the outside, okay. I was gonna trace the inside, but barnacles just messed up. Okay, be careful when you're drawing. Apparently it's difficult, but I was tracing it and I didn't put enough weight on this side and it kind of bent in and then made my measurement all messed up. Perfect. So we have our cutout ready to go. I already made the little center point, and what I did for that was just get the measuring tape and figure out what was the middle between the length in the corners, which was 9. So I put it right here and measured each side. Anyways, got that done. Then I went ahead and just put little pilot hole markings in the corners. And then, I just have my address covered here because, I don't want you guys to find me or anything. Unless you want to send me stuff, that's cool. But what we're gonna do now is go find out the placement in the bus and go from there. All right, inside the bus we go. Let's just look at my skylight one more time. Oh my goodness. It's very dirty because I got the sealant all over the place, but after it's clean, oh my goodness. Okay, getting distracted. What we want to do is find out where the flat point is. I don't want it directly in the middle. Let's see, maybe we could put it like right here. We don't want it to hit any of the ribs, obviously, and I will be getting rid of these dome lights. So let me figure that out and I'll catch up with you guys. I went ahead and placed my little template on here with some tape just to get a feel. I think this is where I want to put it. Anywhere you see a rivet pretty much is going to be a rib. So I know that there's a rib all the way down here, all the way down here, here and over there. And I thought it would be perfect in this little place right here. So I think that's where I'm gonna put it. I'm not sure. Right now, I just went ahead and removed all the lights from the screws and everything. Now I'm gonna go through and cut each one, but I think I'm gonna leave the one at the front. It's the only one that's even operational right now. The rest of them don't even turn on, so let's get that done. I was getting way too cocky with the scissors and started cutting these cords over here, and then the bus started beeping. So yeah, we're gonna put some electric tape over that and stuff it in a corner. That's how we deal with things around here. Over here, we see that I've removed all the lights. I just went ahead and cut them. So these are gonna be the screws that I am using. I showed you these before. They're the 1-inch Everbuilt self-drilling lath screws. And this is gonna be our thread size. So I need to go ahead and swap out the one that I used for the skylight. So these are the options I came up with. I believe this one's a little bit too big. It's almost the exact same size as my screw, and I don't want the hole to be too big, otherwise it won't go through. And I believe this is a perfect size. It's very small, but not small enough to not do anything, because that's what I did the first time with the skylight. I used a way too small of a drill bit, and yeah, it was weird. So make sure you have the right size. I think we're good now. I've probably been staring at this fan area for a good 30 minutes, and I was watching YouTube videos to see where people placed their fans in a bus, because the ribs are so in the way that I don't know how to lay it flat, because I know it should be laying flat against the roof, right? Like, I don't want it to go on a curve or anything, so I want it to stay kind of in this center area, but just so unsure. If it's in the center here, it'll hit this rib. And I was thinking maybe I'll cut out where this light is and use this hole here. But then I felt it was too close to the emergency hatch. I'm just so confused. I feel it would be a lot easier if my ceiling was removed and I could get a better and clearer angle of where I wanted it. But since we're keeping the ceiling, I just gotta figure it out. Alrighty, I've pondered long and I've pondered hard. We have our placement ready to go for some pilot holes. I'm gonna go ahead and drill from the inside of the bus all the way up, and hopefully it can reach the top, and I can then drill down and make my little cutout. Also, while contemplating, I thought about my floor and how thin it is and how weak it's going to be in the long run for everything that's gonna be in this bus. So I thought if I invested this much in the insulation and the framing and everything else, I might as well just go the full 9 yards and get the proper, thicker plywood. So what we're gonna do is remove the floor, maybe today, and then to recycle it and reuse it, we'll go ahead and use them for the walls, because the walls don't need to be that thick. So I realized the pilot drill bit that I had on here was for the screws and not the actual holes to get up to the roof. So I went ahead and swapped that out. This is way longer, way thicker, and is actually penetrating all the way to the top. So we're gonna continue with this one, and then we'll switch over to the other one. We're actually installing the screws. I don't even know what kind of insect that is, but it's huge and it's gross. I think it's a freaking yellow jacket. I don't even know. All I know is I got my holes nicely drilled in. You can see through the top. So now I'm gonna go on the roof and finish up. Back in the garage, we're gonna get ourselves loaded up with a metal blade for my jigsaw. Okay, this one says 1/16 to 1/8 metal, and this one says 1/8 to 1/4 metal. And as I showed before, you just lift or push down, lift your little thingy, get the blade out, and replace it with your new one. We are locked and loaded. This isn't on, but we're locked and loaded with our little Diablo blade. Cool, so we got the first cutout on the roof done. Now you can see through. So now I just need to get the second layer done inside the bus. fan has been placed. I was horrible with my measurements and cutting abilities. So yes, it is a little rough, but at least it fits and at least we can seal it up. The roof side is perfect, but this side, I just went a little too crazy with the angle grinder, thinking that I needed more space for my knob when I didn't. I did need space, but I didn't need this much space. So my ceiling will be covered with that vinyl I bought anyway, so I'm not too concerned about the look. I'm just so happy it fits. And now I'm gonna go to the top and secure it. Man, I actually had the fan the wrong way. So when it opens, it should open this way, like towards the back of the van. And now that I did that, I made all this space for the knob and it wasn't even needed, and now my knob is kind of hard to access over here. But you know what, we're just gonna call it a day. We're gonna just be okay with this for now. If anything, I just cut a bigger area over here to access the knob a little bit better. Make sure you have your cords coming down here. I watched a YouTube video. Oh my gosh, that thing is psycho. It's so creepy. But I watched a YouTube video where a girl accidentally had these up here when she installed it and had to pull them down. So just make sure your cords are down here. And yeah, now I'm gonna go on the roof and secure it this time for sure. So it is extremely hot up here. I'm gonna try and do this as quickly as possible, but I wanted to go over this with you. So I have my cutout here. I already sprayed it with some Rust-Oleum, just the satin clear stuff that I've been using on the entire bus, just to prevent some rust. I had my file, but I can't find it. But I looked at it and honestly, it's a pretty clean cut. So I don't think I need to file it down. And right now I'm just using my butyl tape that I used for the skylight. And I'm doing the same kind of technique, which is I laid one layer on the very top and then I did a second one that laid from the top around to the bottom, so it lips over. And I really like that. That feels really nice. So it was just the 2 layers, and I'm gonna do that all the way around. Sorry, someone's mowing like right next to me. And yeah, then we'll secure some screws and get some sealant in here. Okay, here's my progress, guys. So what I've been doing is using these screws, as I showed you already, grabbing one, and then I will get the lap sealant. And I've just kind of been dipping it inside, just like so. Get it nice and juicy. And then get it ready for the hole. And I noticed that with these screws, I don't need a pilot hole. So from here, let me just put this down. Just get my little drill. Oh, just hard one-handed. And there we go. And it's really secure, so that's awesome. After I'm done drilling everything in, I'm gonna go ahead and put sealant around the entire edge, and we shall have a fan installed. It's officially done. I also sealed the screws, and it's drying pretty quickly, which is awesome because, you know, it could rain, we don't know. And now we get to uncover the fan. Yay. Oh, she's a beaut. All right, so now I'm gonna go inside and lower it. The fan is officially installed. Everything is glued and sealed down up at the top. And now we're good to go. I'm so excited. I just need to clean off the knobs and stuff. I was using a black sealant and a white sealant, so there's just stuff everywhere, but I'm so happy with the result. I do wish I could have gotten a little bit better with my measurements. The thing is, I was using an angle grinder at the bottom, so from this angle, it was weird. And I couldn't do it from the top of the bus with the jigsaw. So I had to do jigsaw on top, angle grinder on bottom, and that's why it's so jank. But for the most part, at least it's a fan, and at least I made a decent hole and sealed it properly. Also, the 1-inch screws worked splendidly, so I'd highly recommend that, and it fit in the little holes that they provided perfectly as well. So one other thing with the fan, I'm also going to take some sealant and then go over the screws from the inside of the bus. But also, I 100% forgot that it came with a frame to go around it, and it fits on this side, but it doesn't fit on this side because it's so tight. So I honestly don't know what I'm gonna do. I'll probably just get it to the smallest amount it'll go just to have this framing around it, because then it'll cover up that craziness. Now our next project is going to be replacing the floor with either 1/4 or 1/2 inch plywood and filling up our walls with insulation, getting our framing done with the walls as well. That'll be tomorrow's project. I'm pretty pooped today, so I think I'm just gonna do a quick clean and be done with it. Eee, the little shadow's so cute.